We have 3 days left until the boat hackathon is done. And we are also almost done. So today on stream, we are going to run through front-end design developments and creating a demo experience to showcase story engine in action. Those are the 2 goals. And we got 3 hours. Pulls up into 90-minute periods. Make sure that's clean. Run it up. And submit this and demo it. So we finna get right into it, boys. Ladies and gentlemen. So what we're staring at right here. Let me set this up real quick. I must ping my chat to join me on the last adventure. The last vibe coding stream. I need this music up louder. The last vibe coding stream of this hackathon. And I'll run up normal ones after. Last hackathon vibe coding stream. Can we finish the front end in 3 hours? I'll just ping that. So what we're staring at here, this is what I want the front end video to be. And I want it to say story engine on top. Just like layer it over. When people click, I want it to zoom in and enter the world. See if that works well. And then yeah, we gonna just try some. We can try making a little game master demo. So we must get right into it. Now, one thing we did yesterday, just to immediately lock in. Look, I meditated. I'm in flow state. There is no time to waste. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend this. I'm gonna extend this prompt. I'm going to extend. How do I extend this prompt? Yes, extend mode, low motion. I'm gonna say smooth clay globe rotates gently in place. Yes. The dragons fly into the world and melt into it. See, I think that'll work. I think if we tell the dragons to melt into it, they'll just go into the world. So if we ideally push this gen into a 30-second video and just replay it, that should be enough for the front end. I don't know if anyone's gonna stay on the front end for more than 30 seconds. I really just want one call to action to run this up. And I think it looks pretty. Now the second thing is I wanted to test out. I started tracking usage, allegedly, at a Claude Code instance, just kind of go crazy on everything that was happening here. So I wanted to see if it would do that. Dragon World. Let me see. What happens when I create a new world? We're calling the AI gens, but does it track my token usage? I really have no idea if this works. Created a usage service that I'm not sure works. Creating world created, generating regions, calling AI call, AI region generation complete. AI usage tracked. It costs 1 cent. Oh, it tracks it? AI usage tracked. It costs 1 cent. Oh my god. It gives us the token. Wait, it actually tracks usage for users. We one-shot usage? Like actual proper hitting the API usage. Database. Table. User AI usage. Oh man, it does. Look, we get the prompt ID saved. It doesn't save the world ID, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, look, it tracks the model, it tracks the prompt tokens, completion tokens, total tokens, tracks the total cost, and then it gives us the metadata for the gen, the module it came from. It doesn't link world for some reason, but this is good. This is hitting like the official. AI usage tracking. Story engine automatically tracks all AI model usage for billing, analytics, and cost management. So you have to enter. You can enter additional metadata. That's fine. And then costs are estimated based on model pricing per 1 million tokens. Oh, it did the math. So it took how much these models actually cost for pricing. It's very interesting. How does it hit the actual? It's because the response includes the token cost. But I want to know if it's actually hitting or if it's hard coded. So I'm gonna go to chat mode. I'm gonna ping AI usage tracking. I'm gonna ping the usage tracker. Roots router. Usage. How does our usage work API wise? Is it hitting Open Router API? Oh shit, wait. I missed a folder to drag in here. I mean, but this seems accurate. Just like first initial hunch, in my initial hunch looking at pricing is like, this does seem accurate. So AI client hits this is the flow for our OpenAI API tracking, Open Router API tracking. Open Router hits the AI client, usage tracking is passive. It extracts usage from response. Usage tracker never hits Open Router, it only extracts token counts from Open Router's response, estimate costs using hard-coded pricing, stores data in local superbase. My question is, where is it hard-coded? This is a fallback when we get exact cost from Open Router. Costs or approximated should be updated with actual pricing. It's accurate enough. Like, the math is not wrong here. It doesn't live, so the problem is if one of these get cheaper, then it'll mess up the calculations. But that's another thing we can worry about later. For now, this is good basic tracking, and then we could get total costs, so we could charge credits. So I'm gonna consider this model done. Git commit m added API added AI API cost tracking per user per AI gen notes. We add notes in the commit. Notes needs to be updated to be more dynamic later because the price costs are hard coded. And honestly, it's fine if it's hard coded anyways, because this is our service. People will be paying us for this. So I want to get rid of that. So there's a couple small tasks I want to run. So at least this runs. cd dev, cd story engine, clear Claude. What tests are failing? Expected spy to be called with arguments. There was one. We're creating an infinite story engine, an infinite story AI, self-evolving universe engine. Best way I could explain it. So we had a really good Claude chat. I don't know how I could go in history. How could we go in Claude code history? There has to be a way to get the history. I swear there was a it's not memory. Resume. Yes. Yes. This is how we resume a conversation. Oh, these are old. Control B. Yeah, so one of these. Oh, why is you messing up my view, bro? I need to go to chat number 6. It's task number 6. 16. I gotta count it. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yes. This is what I wanted. Okay. Control B. From America. Removes all the fields that don't exist. So we could create, get, delete list worlds, get current arc, get current beat, get events. We could create character, get character, update character, delete character. We could create character, get character, update character, delete character. Create location, get location, update location, delete location, list locations. Create faction, get faction, update faction. Delete faction, list faction. You can set stands, get faction relationships, event system, the core. Add actual data models based on real schema. And then we could add events to the current beats. Honestly, it's simple enough. What's wrong with that? Okay, I like this design. Can you please ensure our API call well to users via the SDK is only this? Let's go in planning mode. I'm gonna say I am a little confused on how we can do this. I set up a TRPC for each backend endpoint that automatically load on initialization. How to follow up with this? Design, can you please ensure our API call is available to users via the SDKs? Only this. I'm a little confused on how we could do this because I set up a TRPC for each backend endpoint that automatically load on initialization. However, I really like how clean this design and API is. Let's add it. What's missing to each TRPC module. And then create easy documentation explaining our endpoints. Alright, I have faith in that plan. I really think now I just focus on making it pretty aesthetic wise, UI wise. No, exit, cd dev, cd story engine, clear, cloud. We updated our modules if we need to update our test because we changed the core logic, which breaks our test again. So okay, let's organize our brain for my ADHD thoughts real quick. Let's make this easier for us. Is extra large text. So the plan for today is first, we have to ensure this. Create corrected API design. Creates front end for interaction. And then ideally, create corrected API design, create front end for integration. We track API costs. I think maybe we could set up like a Stripe subscription system. Create front end for interaction, set up a Stripe. I like setting up Stripe is too long. No, I want this to be a free demo. I do want to. I think we could keep it on Nano for now. So let's make it so the world generation is Claude 4 Sonnet. So it's smart and like initial generation. And then we can make like Nano the initial generation. I don't know. I mean, also using 4.0 in general is not bad. It's bad. Create corrected API design, create front end for interaction. Create a game master demo where. Okay, so I want to create a game master demo on site. I want to showcase doing this with Bolt. Now, how we do this could get very complicated really quick. However, I work with voice agents a lot. I personally believe there is a cheat code on if I use Vappy. So Vappy AI is a AI workflow builder that allows you to create voice agents on demand, have tools. If I create a game master experience where this AI gets its context, ooh. I don't know if I could just load data into the Vappy assistant, but it makes the experience of talking to the agent very seamless and easy with interruption. So ideally, based on the Vappy docs, can we load in context into the Vappy agent from our React front end? If you could load in context from our React front end, aka I hit the API, I load that in, that'll be really nice. So I'm trying to think how this game master demo would look, because I made a lot of game masters before, so I don't assume this will be too hard. But it would look like this. Create character. Shut up character. Am I late to stream? No, I just started. Yes, come to Twitch, please. So create character. Set up class, or whatever. What we're gonna do Well, because it's really up to us to progress a world, like to progress a story. Creates a world that anyone on site contributes to one single world. When you create a character, set up class, or whatever, create a world that anyone on site contributes to one single world. Creating a character adds a new character. That anyone on site contributes to one single world. Create character, set up class, or whatever. Create a world that anyone on site contributes. Creates a demo world that everyone on site contributes to. Every user gets their own game master on the spot. Interactive. That narrates one continuous adventure based on the story engine API responses. Important events are added to the world events via API. And this one's extra. Are you gonna do VO3 scenes? Fuck no, that's so extra. I just want to make a game master experience. Important events are added to the world event via API. Create demo world that everyone on site contributes to, get their own game master. That narrates one continuous adventure based on the story engine API responses. Important events are added to the world events via API. Game master agent tool call. So yes, game masters are really good at just using tools at will. So I assume the AI agent is going to be smart enough to be able to just use game master tools. And then combat demo and NPC AI talking demo if we can get away with it. If we could get away with it. Alright, let's see. Ooh. When using the web SDK, you can pass metadata or context when starting a call using the start method. Ooh. This might be the info that I needed. The metadata / context you provide will be available to your assistant during the conversation and can be used personalized responses to provide relevant information. Are we sure this is right? I don't think this is correct. I'd like to make it a voice agent, if I could make it a voice agent. Quick start. All right. Let's cloud up soon. Gonna check in on our boy every once in a while. Plan to modify TRPC router structure. Create new. Fuck no. All write operations. Public read operations. No, this is too much. Oh, you forked on GitHub and now working on achievements NPM. Oh, wait, that's good. I like that. You started, congrats. You started a war between two factions. No, this is bad. I don't want this. No. No refactoring of our current TRPC style. We already require auth. Simply add the missing API endpoints. Ensure it's cleaned up for easy gets, updates, deletes. Yeah, in the meantime, we can focus on making it look pretty. I don't know why it gets red here. I hate how it gets red. I just want it. Honestly, I just want I don't even want this to like be all fancy and fucking change. I just want it to be rotating. Like, I just want it to smoothly rotate nonstop. I think that's what we should do. We should just have this smoothly rotate nonstop. That'll be the simplest thing, so I'm not stuck on this. Where's this first one? Yes. This should just smoothly rotate in place, non-stop. It should smoothly rotate in place, non-stop. I'm gonna extend this automatically. Well, but then it doesn't look smooth when I loop it. If I loop it on CapCut manually, then it's like, it's gonna rotate, it's gonna rotate, it's gonna rotate, cut. It's gonna rotate, it's gonna rotate, it's gonna rotate, cut. Whereas if I just have like a 30 or like a minute video of it just like rotating on mid-journey, and then it cuts, and then it rotates, like that's fine. I can't have it I can't have it cut 5 seconds in. That's too soon. So I like this. Let's have O3 do some research. Can you look into the VAPI AI voice agent assistant API for me and tell me if we could add custom context to the voice agent via our front end in React? Like, I open the voice agent chat with information from our front end and the voice agent gets that context. All right. Here is the docs. So you could check it for me, because I think the AI on site is not very smart. Not very smart at all. Okay. So we have our research ring on the side. Okay, how's this? VAPI integrates 11 Labs automatically. VAPI is a full voice. Oh, wait. No, 11 Labs also has a voice agent. I forgot about that. You're right. Okay, let's also have it do research on 11 Labs. Do research on the 11 Labs voice agent for me, and please let me know if there is a way that we could give the voice agent access from our front end that the voice agent gets in the back end. It's much easier to integrate 11 Labs voice agent this way, actually. You might have just saved my fucking ass, by the way, if this works. No, you're right. VAPI, though, integrates 11 Labs, but forgot that 11 Labs uses voice agent off rip. So if you can make a voice agent demo using 11 Labs off rip, that'd be fantastic. No. All I have to do is rotate simply. Don't fuck this up. Oh, you didn't fuck this up. Yes. Yes, extend this. Extend this for me. Yes. Yes. This is good design. So Vappy lets you inject per session context from your front end, calling an assistant.overrides valuable object when you start a voice call session. Look. So I didn't word this right. Give the voice agent access to context from our front end that the voice agent can inject when we start the voice agent call. Example, username from the front end should be passed to the Cloud's voice agent's system prompt. Okay, that's a much clearer question for O3 to answer. Vappy does let you do that. So assistant overrides, variable values, send support. Alright, that could be it. And this would all be a front end thing. Anyway, so clean plan, add delete endpoint, add clean get avoidance endpoint with filtering, add get event with filters, keep SDK facing endpoints. I don't like this internal thing. There should be no internal thing. I mean, so implementation is add missing delete endpoints, add get events to world router with proper filtering, create mark internal only endpoints. Okay. I mean, it seems good. Fuck it. Yeah, add git commit fix test for our latest updates. Core changes. Okay, these tests should be good. What's the problem statement? The problem statement is vibes, my good sir. Does this rotate good? See, like, this is good. This is good. I like that. This, see, horrible. Horrible. This, ooh. The curvature of this one is a lot better. The curvature of this one is much better. Look at the curvature of that. And then we have this. So, the problem is the curvature of these three all look the same. I think I'm gonna stick with the first one. Extend this manually. Yes, extend this. So we're just gonna spam extensions for this. Ooh, the 11 labs does let you inject runtime context into the agents. Cleanest way is to declare username inside the prompt and then supply real values from your front end via dynamic variables when you start the conversation. So you could declare placeholders into the prompt, and then we could pass dynamic variables like this. Ah. Well, would you look at that? Problem solved, Shaq. Problem solved. So what we do is every time we start a voice agent chat, we take in like the current context of the world, give it to the agent. Agent runs like the client, the game master runs a story. And then I think what happens is we do this in turns. So it's like D&D. It needs to be done in turns. But I think less so turns, more so sessions. This needs to be done in sessions. So there should be one session that happens. Boom. Next session happens, refresh this shit. So every Game Master instance we start is going to be 1 session. So I want this to be done so we can start conducting. How much context are you sending? All of it. We need to get the current, we're sending the context of the current world, context of the current arc. It's a lot of context, my good sir. Context of the current world, context of the current arc, context of locations. It doesn't really matter. How will the Game Master 11 Labs manage particular character arcs? It doesn't manage particular character arcs. Every single Game Master, think of it like this. It works like this. You have one Game Master, right? You have player Shaq, right? And then you have player Butoshi, right? And me and you both get our own Game Master. So you have a personal Game Master AI. I have a personal Game Master AI. Like this. And then we all have our personal Game Master AI. That takes us on this little adventure. But what happens is a story engine SDK. Like this. It's bidirectional. So first, when we activate the story engine SDK, one world connects to both our personal Game Masters. Hold on, how do I... Oops. Shit. Ugh. Sorry, I'm still new at this Excalibur thing. How do I not select everything? Oh, okay. I guess it should be like further down. So this SDK talks to my agent and your agent, but it's vice versa. It's bidirectional. So then your Game Master talks back to my story engine SDK, and my Game Master talks back to the same story engine SDK, and then these keeps our two individual stories in sync because it's coming from the same world, and both the Game Masters are getting the same context. But your Game Master is taking you through your own experience, and my Game Master is taking me through my own experience, but our worlds and our story will be linked because the Game Master is giving that information to the story engine SDK. Now, this doesn't have to be synced like in real time. It just has to be synced in terms of the world. Like, our world is synced. Sometimes I participate, sometimes I don't. Sometimes someone else participates in our world, sometimes they don't. We're still pulling in context from the same world. It's synced because it's pushing to the same engine. The Game Masters narrate based on the story engine SDK, based on the current arc, based on the current narrative. And then as the Game Masters run characters and run players through their own personal narratives, the Game Master gives that information back to the SDK. All Game Masters give that information back to the SDK. And then the SDK sees all these world events, and when a beat progresses, it progresses the story based on all of the information from everyone's individual playthrough, creates a new arc or a new beat or a new world story, and Game Masters, every single Game Master pulls from that exact same story to continue and repeat that. Shaq, I'm going to give you Twitch mod, and I want you to ban every motherfucker that does this dumb shit to me, yeah? Hold on. Mod. Shaq. TS2. Ban him! Ban his ass! I think you do that. I don't know. But no, you're actually homie. I respect your grind. I really appreciate you for consistently coming in my streams the last couple of weeks. It makes doing content and running the streams easier and more exciting. So I knight you, mod, in my Twitch chat. And do it well, my good sir, because I'm telling you right fucking now, Shaq. I'm telling you right now, this is the smallest my stream. This is the smallest my brand. This is the smallest my following is ever going to be from now on forever. We're going to be dealing with a very large chat within the next 6 months. We're going to be dealing with a lot of content. And we're going to be telling you a lot of bullshit in the next 6 months. And I need people I can trust to help me run this the fuck up. And as one of my first chatters and being in my Discord and joining the Discord chat and live streaming and talking in my chat, I recognize that. I respect you. I appreciate you. You're here early. So thank you. Okay. Clean SDK surface. It's your first time being mod. I took your mod virginity. Let's go. But no, I mean it. Thank you. Okay, look. So we got comments to identify. I've not used media soup. The comments to identify internal only endpoints, and then I'm learning a lot watching you. Look, that's the main point. That's the main point of these streams. That's the main point of these streams. Add comments to identify internal. Okay. You guys get now only explosives, essential credit operations plus record world event, get world state. Did you write the docs as well? I don't know if it wrote more. Oh, it did. Mod view is crazy. I don't even know what mod view looks like. The world dot record events. Wait, but then how do I progress a beat? Faction.create, faction.get, faction.update. Wait, this looks good. What? Wait, hold on. Docs look really good, but we need progressing the beat to be a part of the thing API as well. Yeah, you can. There's a whole tutorial teaching you how to be mod. Nope. One frame. It fucks up one frame. Nope, it also fucks up one frame. How are you all fucking up one frame? This doesn't matter too much. Yes, extend this. I'm just gonna keep spamming extend until we get one long ass video. Oh damn. Oh damn, this is sick. Yo! For pizza! What is this? I forgot I also made 4 pizza mod. For pizza, what the fuck? I mean, I'm half black. Shit. By the way, guys, my ethnicity is I'm 50% black, 50% Filipino. I'm Blasian. Just FYI for the future Twitch. and all that. Just FYI. Yeah, it feels important to say that. You're not my first mod. You are technically my first mod. I just gave 4 pizza mod in the moment. This is awkward. This is like getting a new girlfriend and then her going, I'm not your first girlfriend. I'm not your first body. It's the fact that I did it. It's the fact that I did it. And also, since the I don't know if there's levels. No, I know you're joking. It's just funny. All right. Check this out. First, real quick. Look into the tool calls. If the 11 Labs agent calls a tool, can we react to that in our front end? This is what. What's up, Moist? So this is another important thing. If we could react to it's a client tool. Wait for the tool. First, we need a voice of our game master. First, we need a voice.
Ich bin Lilith.
Absolutely the fuck not.
If there is no struggle.
Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely not.
All that's true.
Absolutely not.
In the dark. Take thy beak from out my heart.
Nope.
You think you faced fear?
Nope.
In the dark.
Nope.
The void speaks through me, boy. And it's rather disappointed in your browser history. Ha! Mortals never learn.
We have 30 out of 30 slots used.
I'm a retired Boston cop.
Grimblewood Thornwhistle.
It is better to hope than despair.
How do I like not use all my slots? Delete. Delete. It has to be Morgan Freeman for the Game Master voice. I mean, I do like the ability to just make a Game Master voice on the spot. I saw a voice that I actually liked randomly the other day. I should have saved it. Maybe I could sort this by professional voice clones. It needs to be high quality. Let's do male, and let's do narrative and story.
It is a
for the good old American life.
Your voice.
In questo labirinto.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high or veils.
It needs to be English.
When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils.
It is a
for the good.
Your voice. Reimagine.
A good story hooks you in like the.
It was a nice day.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Johnny Boy here.
Don't.
Every step deeper into the darkness reveals the truth. Later that same evening, Detective Carlson.
If you really think.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Featured in 200 plus.
The winds of the.
Unleash the power of our cutting-edge tech.
Hey, hope you're good.
Some stories become a part.
Either you run the day, or
you were looking for a teenage.
Mine is the voice you hear quite often on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Thanks for choosing me for your project. You'll be very happy.
Could I play D&D with the voice? See, I'm trying to think. Could I be in a 1 hour session with this AI agent? I kind of want it to be a robot storyteller. What if you make one? So what's really cool about 11 Labs is you could prompt a voice, right? Evil Ogre. Robotic Game Master. AI D&D Game Master Storyteller. Generate voice? There's a little mouse option. That's cute. Adorable. You need to be moving. Remove the internal comment from progress arc. Add documentation for old progress arc. Update the example. Use to show how to progress arc. Does this work first? NPM.
Your weapons are but toothpicks to me. Ha.
Your weapons are but...
Your weapons are but toothpicks to me. Surrender now, and I may grant you a swift end. I've
What if I say
toppled
Game Master
kingdoms and devoured
Storyteller?
armies. What hope do you have against me?
No, I don't want any of these. Go, new one. So if we npm run dev. I think my last final thing that I'm missing. Also, I just realized I messed this
Your
up.
weapons are but toothpicks to me. Surrender now, and I may grant you a swift end. I've toppled kingdoms and devoured.
Your weapons are but toothpicks.
Your weapons are but toothpicks to me. Surrender now, and I may grant you a swift end. I've toppled kingdoms and devoured armies. What hope do you have against me?
What's this evil ogre one? I'm just so. They're prong. Okay, wait. This is interesting. This might be 11 Labs prompting alpha. Let's take that. So anytime these AI companies have examples of how they set up their prompts, keep in mind these AI companies, like 11 Labs in this case, have their
weapons are but toothpicks to me.
toothpicks to me.
Your weapons are but toothpicks to me.
So keep in mind, the people who design the voices and have this AI prompt have templated prompts and how they set up their prompts. It's probably because they understand how to set up their own prompts because they made it. So anytime we have something like this and we want to work with an AI engine or with a custom model, in this case 11 Labs is a custom model, I take the example and I give it to agents like Claude. And in this case, using this example of a text to voice AI generator, can you create one that generates a pleasant but fun Game Master D&D storytelling experience voice? So I want to know, we take the example because it's an example, right? It's their example. They know what they're doing. Take this example, give it to AI. Now AI understands the example. I wonder if, so let's just try this prompt, just raw dog it, you know? And let's see how this goes. Now, in the meantime, perfect, extend. I can't extend a video more than 4 times? Why? I guess we could do the trick where like we take it and then we rotate it backwards and then we take it and we rotate it forwards. Okay, we might have to do that. Make this front end look pretty. New project, a story engine, front end. Create, take this, import. By the way,
Gather round, dear adventurer. Gather round, dear adventurers, for tonight we embark on a tale that will link dragon stirs. It's and steep.
Wait, this is sick. So I don't like the voice, but it has background reverb that Claude added.
Courage in your hearts and steel in your... Now, imagine, just beyond the horizon, a dragon stirs, its mighty wings casting shadows over the land. With courage in your hearts and steel in your hands, you must face this formidable beast. Oh, but first a visit to the tavern. For what hero can quest on an empty stomach?
Food.
Ah, the road ahead is perilous, yet filled with wonders untold. Ready your wits as much as your swords, for an adventure awaits like no other.
Oh, I like you. I like you. D&D narrator, I like you. That was that. That's good. That's good. See, description should be less than 5. Yes. See, look at the power of when we take and give examples to an AI. Yes, I have heard of the Stanley Parable. I love the Stanley Parable. I played it so many times and done like all the secret endings. But this is good, right? So that was a result of this simple workflow combination. We got a voice we actually really like. Perfect, beautiful. It sounds like the narrator. I love the narrator of Stanley Parable. Okay, so this is my like video gen life hack for smooth front ends. So I just extended this video gen on Midjourney about 4 times, seems to be the max, but I still want it to be smooth. So we're just gonna be a little funny troll, and I'm going to reverse this when it gets to the end point. So it just goes in the opposite direction and continues playing smoothly to give the imitation that it's going around the globe without breaking the same frame. And then it comes back here and then it'll just like rotate back. So we're gonna export this and we're gonna call this the world front end. We're gonna export it. All right, now for the next 2.5 hours, I need bolt footage. So I'm eligible for the hackathon. So we're gonna do this. We just finished up prettying our SDK with all of the info. Stop. Thank you. We're gonna finish prettying up our front end for the SDK, or we finished prettying up the SDK for the front end. So now we have an actual SDK via API key pass and authentication headers. Hold on. Wait, that's not right. Give me 1 sec. Why can't I delete all of, how do you delete all of this at once in Tmux? I know command backspace works, but it doesn't work in Tmux, and I don't know why. Maybe there's default settings I gotta play with. Maybe I'll like Tmux a lot more if I just make it exactly like a normal terminal, and that'll be like a much more pleasant experience. I can be way faster with it. Anyways, the SDK seems to ask for, where's the API? What do I ask for an API key? I don't even think I asked for an API key in my database. I don't think I have this. Before I do something stupid. Before I do something really stupid. For API auth, do we use Superbase auth or do we have an API key system? Preferably, I want to use API key auth. Where's my music at? It's alright. In this case, our code base context is really big. It's 183k tokens. The only AI model that's smart enough to answer this question reliably and hold that much context without losing coherence is Gemini 2.5 Pro. So we go to aistudio.google.com. and paste in everything with repo prompt. I guess is the answer. Ooh. Ooh. I could try the Gemini CLI out. It's okay, you tried it. It's mid. I don't know, it just doesn't look appetizing. Yes, a user logged into the front end. So this is our authentication flow. So super base JW. Okay, so I was wondering, I was like, we don't have an SDK system. So ask for an API key, but this is how. I have to plan this. Can we create an API key system? I guess I'm gonna ask the same instance. How can we create an API key system that allows people to log in via the front end dashboard, generate an API key tied to their account and their worlds, and use that to access their worlds, generate and manage. Let's refresh the API key on our site and allow them to access their API endpoints via the API key. However, they should be able to access their endpoints via auth only if they into the dashboard. It's both a front end and dev backend experience. Okay, so we'll ask Claude to run that. But all of this seems nice. So before we get into any complicated stuff, I'm just gonna get npm. Because what I really want to do first is load up a world. Oh, this is the second thing I wanted to run. So I wanted to ask Gemini, after an arc fully completes, what happens? Do we summarize a story? Does that story then get used when generating a new arc? All the locations and characters, worlds, events should continue on from previous arcs. So I want to make sure that I have the system in place where if an arc actually finishes, it continues. If not, it's not too bad. What do I mean on what part? I just saw that. So you're going to run up a design for that. You are getting cleared. We're starting a new instance of you. And for this one, did I do anything new? The news pipeline? No, does it not work anymore? No. It didn't. What do you mean? I got pinged somewhere. Where did I get pinged? In general, vibe coders. Did Jin not say something? You do anything new? Have not touched it in months. Just left it running. Oh. I have it set up to create new summaries based on so I never have to touch the code. To be honest, I'm surprised it's running this long consistently. This long consistently. Okay. Oh, we do get summaries. All right, see, we did that ahead of time. So when the arc reaches the 15th beat, the progress arc method clicked at that point ends automatically, triggers a complete arc process, which creates an AI powered summary, updates the database, updates the world state. So there is no current arc. And then we fetch history when we create a new arc. It gets previous arc summaries to retrieve the arc summaries, and then it forms the AI by adding it to the prompt. Oh yes, yes we did. Oh, we are goats. We're goats, and we don't have to change anything. So now we could work on creating a conversational voice agent. Game master AI agents. Story engine demo game master. Joy, no, you're just a story engine game master. Point blank period, bro. So this is good. This is good. How's this? Create a new migration for API keys table. API keys. Enable RLs for polys for users to manage their own keys. Update context to check for X API key. Header first, if API key present, validate against database. If valid, set user context from API key owner. File back to JWT auth if no API key. Create a new module, API keys, domain, schema, wizard validation, service for CRUD operations, repo, gRPC reader. Security implementation, generate cryptographically secure keys. I mean, let's try it. Makes sense for an API system to have API keys. Clear, get add dot, get commits, and updated SDK reference with API key examples. I mean, it looks good. Let me touched up front end API for SDK. That looks good. Everything's synced there. Would you like to proceed? Yes. Yes, I would like to proceed. Mr. Claude. So what's in our pipeline? Create corrected API design. Do the check mark. Done! That was fast. Boom! Now next we have to create the front end for interaction and then create a game master demo on the site. Easy! Easy! I just have to do a very complex system in less than 2 hours. Bro, that's light work. It's actually light work. Oh yes, wait, most important. Before you even go, before you even move, I have to speed on this. Public, delete, world front end. Where's the public folder? World front end, get add dot, get commits and add world front end mp4, get push. It's gonna be a big video. Wait, how many gigabytes is this video? Just curious. I'm just curious. 60 megabytes to load it. Video compressor. I mean, ideally. Okay, so here's a magic trick I want to try. I want to try this magic trick. So I have warp, which is it's an AI terminal. We could give it commands. I want to reduce the video size of this without losing quality. I'm currently in the download folder. I'm gonna say find the file worldfrontend.mp4 and compress the video so we make it as small as possible. Right now it's 60 megabytes without losing quality. The video is 1920. What is the ratio? It's 1920 times 1080, and there's no audio. Warp is an AI terminal. So it's a terminal that acts as your computer. So now it's gonna run based off my request right here where I said find the file world front end and compress the video to make it small. it makes a command in response to that. So it's gonna use FFmpeg to do the compression for me, which is only what a majority of these online sites do. Like compress video, like all these sites, they just use FFmpeg to do the compression. And I don't want to go through someone else's site and give them my videos and mess with their data and deal with uploading. Like, no, that's so bad when you can just do it in the terminal yourself. So at will, I have an AI agent that could do all of these functions for me. So if I run it, right, it like generates the command based off my request. I also use this to download YouTube videos because I always forget the YouTube DLP command and like download a YouTube video as an MP3. Yeah, FFmpeg is just a terminal command. I don't know, I keep saying FFmpeg. So now it successfully compressed the video. So now we have world front end compressed.mp4. Contains media that's not compatible with QuickTime Player. Is it compatible with VLC? It got messed up. It does open with VLX, which means it might work directly. So the video still works, it just doesn't work with QuickTime. But now the video is 4 megabytes. Begin made you FFmpeg maxi? No, it's just good. It's good software. But look, bro, I went from 60 megabytes to 4 megabytes, which is great for our site optimization. So I'm actually going to delete the world front end and then add this here. Oh yeah, it does play. See? Look, and it still looks good. And it's 4 megabytes instead of 60 megabytes, which is great. So I'm gonna get this in, and then I'm gonna just replace the file completely. Git add. Is it in SRC or is it just in public? It's just in public. Git add public / world frontend.mp4. Git commit m compressed video. And that should have pushed it, yes. Okay. Cool. We got the, oh, look, it's 3 megabytes. Look how small that shit is now, bro. That's perfect. So that was a quick demo on using Warp to do what you want. Very good. So that helps with optimization. You want speed and efficiency. It's important. We're done with this. Now, what I'm gonna do to start doing this front end design, you might actually almost be done with the API key in one shot. He might almost actually, this model might. Can you just stop moving? I hate that about T-Link. I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, continue, please. Don't get interrupted. Go. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. So I might one-shot the API key integration. No, don't. No, don't worry about the front. Actually, yes, do continue. But wait. In delivery, such TRPC of the module are unused. I don't know why we have these 2 unused variables. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. But yes, I think it might one-shot this module. So let's give it a sec. In the meantime, what we can work on is the game master functionality. So I'm going to write documentation on how the Game Master works. But before I write documentation on how the Game Master works, I want to show you guys something I made a long time ago about my existing Game Master. I have it somewhere. Yes. So, first off, cute little photo. When I was designing Boo Quest and Boo World for the same exact concept, the key was to make an AI Game Master. So I went ahead. I need adventurous. I need adventurous music for this. Yes. So when I first designed this is the first AI agent, one of the first AI agents I've ever written. And I have the system prompt and the whole design for it still saved. So this is how it works. This is the Game Master's role. You're the Game Master. Your role is to shape the narrative of the entire world and take every individual player on an immersive, self-evolving journey through this fantasy RPG. You have limitations and can't control everything about the world. Your vision is limited to focus on individual players. And I describe with copies of yourself per player, distributing info to each other in limited chunks. Holy fuck, I prepped for this. A year ago, I prepped for this. To create a more immersive and engaging narrative for the player, please focus on providing rich detailed descriptions for the characters. And then I wrote, this game has rules similar to D&D 5th edition for, you know, D&D stuff. And I have all this info. Now game mechanics. So special events. Let's talk about special events real quick. Trigger immersive minigames when the narrative calls for it. Dice rolls, combat, dialogue, stats, inventory updates. I even added some competence maps. Now let me show you the soul. So this is when I worked with Open Souls. This is the soul blueprint. I want to explain the design because this design is very important. And I made this a year ago. This is how the soul of the Game Master works. So what you're looking at is the AI agent blueprint. How this works, and it's actually like as complicated as it looks. It's actually very simple, right? So it starts with a player interaction. This is how players prompt the Game Master. Then, based on the player's interaction, the Game Master has access to 4 sets of tools to make the game easier. If the player did an interaction that would take them into an NPC dialogue, it would trigger the NPC dialogue tool, which would then trigger the NPC dialogue system and put the player in a cutscene to talk with an AI NPC. Once that cutscene is done and either the AI NPC or the player ends a chat, that dialogue information is compressed and summarized and given back. That info is given back to the Game Master. Based on that information that the Game Master got, right? Based on that information, MP stands for this is for mental process. The way I designed AI agents back then is by directly copying the brain, our brain. So AI agents would have a conscious and a subconscious, and that's how we worked with it back then. That's with Open Souls. Anyways, so once this cutscene finishes, the cutscene then triggers the Game Master soul again, and based on the info from the cutscene, the Game Master then decides and restarts his loop. All right, based on the NPC dialogue, yo, was this aggressive? Was this an aggressive conversation? If so, initiate combat. Boom, initiate the combat mental process, and then put the player in a text area. The outcome of that battle, win or lose, gets sent back to the Game Master for the Game Master to do a repeat. Oh, did the player beat in combat? Did the player beat the combat? If the player beat the combat, then the Game Master has a tool to edit the character data and level them up or give them items, right? This is all text-based at the time. But like, give them items, level them up, give them experience, give them gold, and then update the character sheet object. And then it goes back. And it just does this loop pretty. Now, the most important one and the only one we're really gonna focus on today is a dice roll action. So obviously every single time, yes, characters die. Every single time a player interacts with the Game Master's soul, right? Sometimes you might need to roll the dice. Sometimes you might need to spin A D20, right? If your action calls for the spin of a D20, this is a D20, but it's not dice, it's just a wheel, but it's the same concept. It rolls a random number 1 through 20. If the player's action calls for a skill check, it's not a Bailey. If the player's action calls for a skill check, then it awaits the player's dice roll. Then like it pops up the dice roll, awaits for the player's dice roll, calculates the outcome, and continues storytelling. And we restart. And that's the full loop. We're gonna simplify this immensely for the demo. So the new loop is gonna be some like, let's call this a game master agent. So right now we're designing an AI agent live. So I'm gonna take you guys through my thought process when I'm designing an AI agent. So we have the game master on AI agent flow. This is the game master AI agents. First, the system prompt. This is very important. This is the heart and soul of literally everything. The system prompt of this agent is gonna have game master system game master system prompt. So the core system prompt is what I just showed you guys in that chat. You know, the game master system prompt, dynamic variables of the current world, story engine SDK. Those dynamic variables include current world info. So I'm gonna do this. Current world info. They also include the current beat info. Locations. I'm gonna just add, which is, I'm gonna just leave it at dynamic variables from the SE SDK, which is gonna be like locations, characters, like all of that important stuff to keep the story consistent. So dynamic variables from the SE SDK, dynamic variables from the player themselves, and then current player sheet. So working with these variables, so this is a system prompt. So how do I fit you in a box? Maybe I'll just make the box. Maybe I'll fit the box around you. Yes. You like that? Yes, you do like that. Okay. So first we define the system prompt, because the system prompt is the most important. Now we're gonna define tool. And I'm gonna define this as system prompt real quick. Oh, so another large reason why I enjoy this process of just writing things. Why did I make you longer? Another reason why I enjoy the process of designing like this is because you know what all of this is at the end of the day? You know what I'm actively doing right now while I'm designing the brain and the system for the game master? I'm making a prompt for my coding agent. I can take a screenshot of this and give it to a coding agent, and the coding agent will perfectly execute my vision. That's how good AI agents are now, and it's even better when we give it proper context. This design is proper context. Now, we're going to focus on tool usage. Tool flow. So the tool flow is this. So interaction flow is, let me make sure before we go back to designing that I have things in motion, so I'm not wasting time. Control B. Users log in via dashboard, create named API keys. Keys are prefixed to story engine. Raw keys only shown once during creation. System has backwards compatibility. Let's test how backwards your compatibility is then. Okay. Test still pass. Okay. Imperial Nut. The server still runs. Alright. Go to my local host. Ooh. Got a front end error. I think he just made most of this up. Hold on. How do I... Let's fix the front end real quick. I'm locked in. Time to clip farm, motherfucker. Well, I already got some clips earlier, but we'll continue to clip farm. So we have that running. You have the new story engine thing. Okay, tool flow. I don't want to get like too complex with this. I'm just gonna like write this down. So the whole flow works like this. Player interacts. After the player interacts, GM runs. Honestly, it looks very. It's gonna look very similar to this. I wish I could just like write this down. It's much easier to write this down on a whiteboard. How can I do this? How can I... Wait, chat, let me cook. Wait, let me cook. This could be, no. Wait, this could be insane. This could be insane. Ask. It's so complicated. Well, I can't access my phone. The whole point of screen mirroring is to show my screen. Wait, I don't want to use. I want screen mirror. Okay, maybe this doesn't work. I thought I was gonna be able to fucking like show you guys my phone, like camera, and go on my whiteboard, but I guess not. Anyways, GM runs. Player interacts. GM runs. I'm just go. Dice roll required. GM uses tools. So player interacts, GM uses tools, dice roll required. If the answer is yes, then roll dice. If we are rolling dice, if not rolling dice, then narrate. Wait, could I just be making squares the whole time and writing in the squares? Oh my god, I could. Well, that makes this easier. Roll dice, narrate. So if a dice roll is required, the answer is no, just narrate. If a dice roll is required, then it rolls the dice and it narrates. I think that's it. I think we just keep this dice roll system. Yeah, that's it. That's the game master flow. Wait. Player interacts, uses tools, narrates. We're gonna do this. And you let that. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. You just let the. Said you could self-host some whiteboards and let an MCP server to let AI draw your flow. That's insane. And then let's have a square here for dice roll required, roll dice, narrate. After narrating, world events tool. I'm gonna say it runs this loop. So after the game master narrates, use world event tool, and then run back the interaction. Yes, no, and GM uses tools. Dice were required, no, narrate. After narrating, use the world event tool. And then the turn loops back to this. So this is our agent loop. This is how our agent looked originally. This is how the agent loop looks like now. And then he has access to 2 tools. Alright, tool 1. What's up, bozos? He has access to 2 tools. Tool 1, dice roll. First, and then the parameters are this. So again, every single AI agent function call parameter tool I use, I create a thinking module. The reason why I give AI agents a think module is because by thinking before they execute a tool, it heavily increases the accuracy of the tool output by like 50%. It's wild. So first, our parameter is we have a think parameter, and then this one be a boolean think required. Think y is a dice roll. It's to think is a dice roll required here. Then based off the thought, the AI agent then executes the thought. Yes, no. All right, so that's tool number 1. Tool number 2 is to then narrate the events. So tool number 2, what's up, Papa? Tool number 2 is to then narrate the events. So again, I'm gonna add a thinking parameter. Tool 2 narrates, and it's only gonna have these 2 tools. It's gonna be fine. Think, how should I narrate this story for max engagements? So I'm having my AI agent think on, wait, why did I create a new text? Okay, tool number 2, narrate. Think, how should I narrate this story for max engagement? And then narration is narrate for the player. Then finally, we have the add world events. This is an array. Player blew up the market. NPCs, market stand, ruined. Oh, Cabbage Man. Cabbage Man's cabbages ruined. So these are the two tools we're working with in terms of the tool flow. So this is tool number 1. This is tool number 2. And this is the word. This is the flow itself. So they're very simple. This is our Game Master AI agent. This is our Game Master that's connected to the world. So the flow is the player interacts. The Game Master uses tools. Thinks if a dice roll is required using the dice roll tool. Is a dice roll required here? Think no, a dice roll is not required here because blah 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 blah. Boolean no. The answer was no. Game Master narrates. Narrating activates the narration tool. How should I narrate this story for max engagement? First it thinks, then it writes a narration, and then adds a world event. This is important for hitting our story engine SDK. Use world event tool. This world event. Use narrate tool. Or I'm gonna say add world events. To SDK. Narrate. Handle tool outputs. Handling tool output involves like narrating to the story. But yes, very simple loop. And this just loops forever and forever and forever and forever per session. So the only other thing we have to do is we have to figure out this API, and then we have to figure out the voice agent SDK, which means we are now going to work on the front end. Does it even work? Ooh, manage API keys for SDK access. Failed to load API keys. I think it fucked up the API key. So I'm gonna undo all of this. I'm gonna discard all changes. So I made a mistake. Asking the same Claude Code agent who just handled a complex task to handle a new complex task. Very, very, very bad mistake. Very bad mistake. Instead, the way that I like to do my planning, so I undid all those changes. Close out of this. Let me open cursor. Bauhaus. New window. Story engine. I don't know why it still keeps the folders. Just delete that. We don't have a thing anymore. So you see, I made a dire mistake. See, I should have used the other TeamWorks tab, but I fucked up. So first, I'm gonna do this. First, I want a really smart AI agent overlooking my whole narrative to create this API key system. And in our case, the only agent who could really take our API at this level is gonna be Gemini. You take Superbase. Maybe this context help. You don't need the rules. You need for cloud context. And then, can you design an API key system that, one, our current code base works by Superbase JWT auth, which is as designed. People who log in should be able to access all of their data via the front end. However, they should also be able to hit an API key and create an API key on the front end, and hitting that API key allows users to access their data via code. Please design an SDK API key system. Give me the high-level overview, no code. When you're working with Google Gemini, you have to tell Google Gemini to not write code. Because if you don't tell him, so I asked for the high-level overview, no code. The reason why I asked for the high-level overview, no code is I want his opinion and I want his design. I don't want his code. His code is going to be too complex to deal with. So instead I break it up, my whole workflow is ask super smart AI agent system that sees your whole screen, that sees your whole code base to design something so it captures all of your entire code base, make sure it doesn't miss any important spots. And then once it creates a high-level design, we take that high-level design and break it down into instructions for a coder agent. Then the coder agent makes controlled, high-quality implementation into our code base. By following that flow, we have consistent, good quality for our code base that we could actually push. If you ignore that flow and expect Claude or like other AI agents to keep go off and make things consistently, it's most likely I can do that to fuck your shit up. So here from that example, we have our system overview. The goal is to introduce a second auth method using API keys for programmatic access while retaining the existing super-based JWT auth. Both methods will ultimately identify a user, grant access to their specific data. Front-end users continue to log in with email password, receiving a super-based JWT. SDK/API users authenticate using a long-lived user-generated API keys. This requires us to create a new super-based database table using the API keys table. This requires us to is used for verification. I don't know how secure API key stuff goes anyways, but requests using an API key will be handled by a new authentication middleware in the Express server. Ooh. So this allows us, so it creates a middleware so we don't have to edit our entire API modules to accept API key. It creates a middleware and captures it in the middle to handle that. See, so this looks fantastic. I like this high level overview and I like this example of how we are going to do this. Storing only hash key is not negotiable. Security considerations. So I'm gonna take this plan and then I'm gonna open up a fresh Claude code in our code base. And I'm gonna hit Shift Tab twice. Hitting Shift Tab twice opens up this planning mode. You see that? You see that? Plan mode on. I'm gonna paste in that high level overview. I'm gonna say create an API key system based on this high level overview. Create the module. Module docs and edit the front end. So this is a very, I fucked up. So this is a very fresh Claude Code instance. We're gonna have it in planning mode. The nice thing about Claude Code is it could actually launch sub agents that execute its task for him. So we're really just passing in this information from one really smart AI system to another really smart AI system, and that really smart AI system, Claude Code, then runs up its own AI agent army for managing the code base. That's why Claude Code is so good, because it could access and create its own AI agents that help it accomplish its master task. Its master task is the prompt we put in. All reliable. It's very nice. Now, to make working with the front end a lot easier, we created a I forgot what you were doing, but I'm gonna let you continue. Story engine is we have a very cut and dry, simple Vite React front end. See, our full front end lies in here. We have auth provider login, pages playground. Okay, now I'm not a front end dev, but I want to make a pretty front end. So I'm gonna take my front end here and I'm gonna ask the big three. This is the big three. Wait. What are the big three in anime? That was One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto? Nah, I feel like it's One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball. I don't know, it's very controversial. I like Bleach better. I'm gonna take this as the big three. Alright, so the big three is Luffy is Claude. Luffy is Claude straight up. Luffy is Claude 4 Opus. I'd say that Naruto is like Chat GPT 03. I think, fuck, I forgot the Bleach guy name. Bleach. I haven't seen Bleach. Ichigo. Ichigo is Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. That's a big three. It's a big three in AI. So I like asking the big three for different ideas and inspiration, because they all have unique personalities and they all have strengths and weaknesses. So me, right? I take in the data from the big three. They all have different opinions. Sometimes their opinions, sometimes all their different opinions collide into one and it makes sense. Sometimes one AI agent, sometimes one AI model says something very good and the rest are bad, and the other one says very good and very bad, and then I combine them. Yes, I'm consulting the oracles. So I'm going to consult the oracles on how to create a good front end. I'm using React Vite to generate my front end. Right now it's very simple, but I want to make the developer's job, and the developer's job as an AI agent very easy when it comes to styling this. Like, do we use Tailwind v4? Do we use React? Do we just focus on HACKATHON or Chakra as a library? How do we make the design of this really easy? How would good front end engineers set up the front end to make it easy and scalable to work with? I also want to create a demo game module on the front end later that interacts with our backend stuff. So I want to set up. So one main thing I do, the most important thing, and I've come to realize this recently, right, is when it comes to vibe coding. Like, I like vibe coding because I have ideas in my head, and I don't want to deal with the technical complexities of bringing that idea to life. I want to deal with just bringing my idea to life. Sometimes vibe coding all the time, good vibe coding involves setting up your code base in a way to where it is vibe codable. This is in a nice modular structured system with cursor rules and the tech stack and guidelines and how our project is organized and structured, so we could vibe code this code base. No, vibe coding at this level, see, this is there's tiers of vibe coding, and I'm gonna self-place myself in the top tier of vibe coding. Is I set up my code bases so I could vibe code. I set up the initial file system and structure and guides so I could vibe code. And I forgot to, hold on. I forgot to ask for a high level overview. That's why we asked for high level overviews, because he didn't. Not really. He didn't either. Wait. Gemini 2.5 Pro. Overview only. So Gemini 2.5 Pro and Cloud need to be told to, like, no code. I think you have to specifically write no code. That's what I was saying. At the top tier of vibe coding, you have to set up your code base so it is structured to vibe code. I need to set up the foundation so that I may continue to vibe. If I don't set up a good foundation, if I don't set up a modular structure, if I don't set up good cursor rules and good Cloud MD system prompt rules, my code is not going to be good. If I do set up this foundation, then I get to vibe. I get to just continue to express my ideas and communicate my vision, and I don't have to worry about the code being wrong. I don't have to worry about security issues. I don't have to worry about auth issues or vulnerabilities, because I set up a strong foundation to prevent that, and now I get to vibe. That is the secret. That is what makes a good vibe coder. Be a good vibe coder, you need good vibes. And to have good vibes, you need to make sure the foundation is cleared and you're in an environment to have good vibes. It's all connected. And that's the differentiator between good coders, good vibe coders, and bad vibe coders. And every dev who doesn't realize that, because most devs are introverted nerds who can't talk to people and don't have good vibes in the first place. You can't be a good vibe coder if you don't have good vibes. That is it. So, the oracles have responded to us. Opus 4 says our style, there's something in my eye. Opus 4 said our styling strategy is to go with HACKATHON and Tailwind CSS. because HACKATHON provides copy-paste components that AI agents can easily understand. It's transparent. Tailwind v4 provides consistent design through utility classes. Component structure should look like this. Adopt a feature-based structure. You have features, world management, components, hook, types, story engine, components, hooks, game demo, components, scenes, game logic. Why? Because AI agents can work with isolated features without understanding the entire code base. Claude understands how AI agent context works. This is actually very, very vital information I'm now discovering. We're creating design tokens in the central config. We're creating base components. We're using Zeuston for global state management because it's simpler than Redux for AI to understand. Tanstat, the secret is to become comfortable with not knowing, but still going. That is why I set a North Star. That's why I say the #1 thing to vibe code is to have a North Star. Listen, the easiest way to learn vibe coding is by having a North Star. A North Star is a goal. It's something you want to achieve. It is the end path of your journey and destination. In my case, it is creating the story engine application. That is my destination. The journey to get there involves talking with AI and figuring things out. And I don't know everything off rip, but I know my end goal. I know where I want to go. As long as I know where I want to go, I am guided. And the secret to becoming comfortable with not knowing but still going is knowing that you have an end destination to arrive to. And AI will help you on the journey to the path there. Wes, that was a clip for you. Thank you, Magic Man. I'm pretty sure I tried hitting like 3 or 4 clips in that whole sequence. I'm trying to work on my live stream clip game. Honestly, I really like this design. HACKATHON plus Tailwind. Okay, the oracles have decided and the oracles have spoken. For server state, local component state, Zeuston. Wait. What? Okay, another super important thing. I don't know if I cannot do it, so I try. There is no, I don't know if I could do it. There is only try. I'm trying to find UI inspirations, but it's so hard to find something like your site. So I'm running up a project called BotHouse LA. By the way, guys, follow BotHouse LA on Instagram, please. We're running this up. We have some viral clips where we take out robots in public and do social experiments. But I like design this site as just inspo. I don't know. I just had a vibe. So I designed the site, and I struggled with designing this site because my AI system. Okay, this is actually a really big problem that I solved. I was using Tailwind CSS. I was using Tailwind CSS with Next.js to try to vibe code this site. Yes, our roommate. But it wasn't working. So no matter what I wrote, I could write the simplest prompts and it would not listen. It wouldn't move. It wouldn't center this text. It wouldn't move a box to the right. It was driving me insane. How are these super smart AI models not working and not properly listening to my ideas? I can't vibe code this because it wasn't listening. And the reason why I couldn't vibe code this is because it wasn't set up. The foundation was not set up to vibe code this site. And you know why? The main issue is that I use Next.js, but all of the LLMs were still using Tailwind CSS v3 by default, which was outdated and which is not what we're using. The Next.js code base was using Tailwind CSS v4. And this came out January 22, 2025, which means the AI models that are working with this doesn't have this in their training data. So I had to go to Gemini, and I had to go into our code base, and I had to write instructions explaining how Tailwind CSS v4 worked. So I created new cursor rules explaining how the new Tailwind CS v4 style worked with examples based on research I had Gemini do to me. Ever since I did this, perfect code. Listen to everything, followed my style, followed my design. Because I set up the foundation, I didn't know. So if you're vibe coding Next.js and you're using Tailwind and it's messing up severely and it's not listening to your front end design, you need to instruct the AI model to use Tailwind CS v4. There's a very big problem, and that is a big solution that allowed me to continue to vibe code this site. It's like actual like important lesson I solved, and that gave me a headache for a week. I don't want you guys to have a headache, so take that info as you will. So we're gonna set up the styling strategy with ShadCN and Tailwind CSS. Now there's another thing here, is I don't know what tan stack query is. I don't want to use something in my code base when I don't understand what that something is. So chat, first off, Claude Code needs to run. Did I interrupt him? Oh my God, I interrupted him on purpose. He wasn't running this whole time. So tan stack query. This is another very important thing. I don't understand the output. I'm not gonna use something I don't understand when I'm vibe coding because it's gonna cause me to have bad, unreliable code that I don't understand. I don't know what tan stack query does. If you know, and that's embarrassing for me, it fucking sucks to be you, bro. But I want to understand what tan stack query is. You know what's so nice about having hyper intelligent AI models at your disposal? I could just ask, what is tan stack query? And what's the difference of that and Zoostend, or do they go together? So I don't know what that is, but I have a question. Someone's gonna answer it to me, and then I'm gonna know what it is. And then my knowledge base increases. And as my knowledge base increases as a coder using AI, then my prompts in the future get better because I understand how to properly ask for it. If I want to use Zoostend in the future, now I know that Zoostend manages the local state of a user's client. That means I could then write prompts that instruct the AI coder agent working with our front end to use and store data into the Zoostend front end state and take info from the Zoostend front end state. And I write that in our cursor rules. So I don't even have to constantly tell the AI to do that. It just understands how to do it because we set up the code-based foundation to understand that info. So tan stack query manages server state, data that lives on your backend. It handles fetching data from APIs, caching server responses, background. Example use case in our app is we fetch worlds from the backend. And then Zoostend manages client states. They work together perfectly. Oh. Think of it like this. tan stack query is your connection to the backend database. Zoostend is your front-end's working memory. Use tan stack query for fetching world data, character list, story, biz, game saves, any data from your base. Use Zoostend for which model is open, form, draft state, selected items, game camera position, UI. Oh, this combination is perfect for AI agents because it has a clear separation, predictable patterns, less decision making, better performance. Okay, so now the second thing we're gonna do with our other AI model is we're gonna prepare our code base so we could vibe code it on bolts. And this is going to be important alpha for Bolt people. So I'm going to try to proceed forward with that general framework script in mind. I want to vibe code. I am a back end. Bro, stop moaning again. What the fuck? I'll do whatever I want in my chat, motherfucker. Now, if you stay in this chat, look at this chat. Look at that. If you stay in this chat despite me moaning, you're the gay one. I have free will. I'm exerting my free will. But you're the one that stayed in my chat. So you should go reflect. Anyways, I am a back-end dev. I've never done front-end. However, because of apps like Bolt allows me to just vibe code a front-end. But I have to set up my back-end to make it eligible and easy for the coding agent to design the front end for me. So what I did is I went to Claude Opus 4. I put my entire code base into Claude Opus 4, and I asked it to help me set up a front end to make it very easy for AI agents to work with. Now it told me to use ShadCN/UI plus Tailwind CSS v4 and gave me the component architecture and how to set up the foundational layer to use Zoostend and tan stack query. So now we have our tech stack and the SRC structure and the folder structure for our code base. I'm gonna copy all of this information And I'm going to go to Claude Code to set up my backend that I've been working with. And I'm going to say, please make our front end, please refactor our front end so it's easy to work with. And there's two things here that I'm going to ask Claude Opus to do. One is I'm going to ask for the high level approach. So I'm taking all this query and I'm going to ask Claude Code, okay, convert this design plan and the tech stack we're using, as well as the folder structure, into one system level design document that we could reference. Via this prompt, what I'm doing is I'm consolidating the information. So AI requires context. Good AI responses require good context. By chatting with Claude, I'm getting good context. Then I'm asking him to consolidate that context into a front-end system design document. This document defines the front-end architecture for story engine optimized for AI-assisted development. It serves as a single source of truth for architectural decisions, patterns, conventions. We have our design principles in place. We have our core tech stack, which is going to be React, TypeScript, Vite, Tailwind, ShadCN. What the hell is Radix UI? What is Radix UI? Wait, what is Radix UI? Okay, anyways, cutting that part out. So I was gonna create this tech stack. ShadCN uses Radix. Okay, thank you. So I was gonna work with this tech stack to make front-end development easy and, more importantly, consistent. This is the project structure of SRC features, world management, story engine, game demo, auth, shared, design system tests. I kind of want this to be simpler because this is too confusing. I like this. This first thing was good, so I'm gonna wind it back. So I asked Claude to give us a high-level architectural approach that makes it easy for an AI agent developer to work with your front end. We're going to use ShadCN, Tailwind CSS. We're going to have a component architecture and design a system setup. Now, all of this is good to me. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go to Claude Code, and I'm going to ask him to refactor our front end so it's easy to work with. Follow this general design strategy. Don't go too complicated. I want to use Tailwind CSS before ShadCN. I use Tailwind CSS before ShadCN, Zoostend for local states, and then tan stack for server state management, and keep it at that. Reorganize our file structure to allow us to create feature-based modules and add more easily. So keep that at that. And then this plan on the other window is to create a complete API key module. Using story engines, vertical slice architecture, and conventions, the module will handle API key creation, validation, and management. Create a module API key directory following our standard vertical slice pattern. Create an API key service, create a router, create a middleware for API key auth. Create SDK directory structure. What does SDK directory structure do? Oh, this is actually making it an SDK. I feel like I don't want to get that complicated right now. I want to edit your plan. Keep planning. Don't create the SDK structure. Focus only on implementing the API key and middleware for handling API key calls. What else were you working on? So yeah, don't actually make the SDK, but create the docs. All of this looks good though, so we're gonna continue that. So because I like everything else, Claude doesn't know I like everything else unless I explain to Claude, hey, I like the other plans. So what you do when you're working with AI systems, you have to tell them what you like and what you don't like. By telling it what you don't like, it allows the AI agent to only change what you don't like. However, it might change what you like unless you explain, I like this, don't change this, I don't like this, please change this. Allows the AI agent to make focused changes instead of messing something up that already looked good. You don't want to restart everything if you don't have to. So I'm just saying, don't create the SDK structure, focus only on implementing the API key and middle for handling API calls. That'll make a better one. On the side, I forgot to go plan mode. Actually, I want to restart this because he wasn't in plan mode. So I messed that up. So shift tab, plan mode on, copy, refactor our front end so that we can use, so that our front end is easy to work with and style. Use shadcn / tailwind css v4 for styling. Use tanstack query and Zeuston for server and local state management. And follow the feature module style to make adding things to our front end easier. Then write documentation. Then I'm gonna ask it to then write concise documentation explaining to AI agent developers how to work with the front end, what our tech stack is, and conventions to follow. So on the side, by asking our Claude Code plan agent to implement that design, which we got from this front end site, then to write concise documents. So I'm asking him to hit a wombo combo. I'm asking him to refactor our code base to set up the structure for vibe coding. And then I'm also asking him to write the documentation that AI agents are going to receive in the future. I'm basically just asking him to write the cursor rules for the front end redesign off RIP so that we have the cursor rules to work with and we can immediately just hop into that. So I got those two things running on the side. Then now I want to work on the 11 Labs agent. So 11 Labs has a conversational AI button now, which allows you to make a voice agent that you could then call and chat with. I created a story engine game master agent, and we could design the first message, the system prompt. Oh, it says dynamic variables in here. We could choose the LLM, the temperature, right? It's actually like a very nice interface for building good AI agents. You could choose the voice and everything. Ooh. Multi-voice support. Specify additional 11 lab voices that the agent can switch to on demand. That's new. I like that. So this is sick. This is really sick for our specific situation, having an AI game master. Because when we get put an AI NPC dialogue, guess what the game master could do? Switch the voice to speak as that AI agent. So it really makes the story hyper engaging. That just came out because that wasn't there yesterday. Crazy timing. Crazy timing. Now our SDK is done. Run scaffold command to create auth module. What does that do? I don't think I have one. Do it manually. Don't think I have that. Do it. Will we create new voices on the spot? I think we'd have to code that. Anyway, real quick. Plan structure is to create base component structure for the front end. Build Radix UI component library. Implement Tailwind CSS system. Create custom hooks for TRPC queries. Restructure front end to match back end modules. Yeah, I say yes. I say yes, that looks good. I just want to add a note. Yes, that all looks good. Remember to just set up the structure. Do not change any styling or add it. Keep it really plain and simple so we can work on it. right after. Also, I want a front end page to prepare that, which we already have to be included in the refactor. So I just wanna follow up. I just want to follow up with the agent and make sure he doesn't actually do styling, because I want to do all the styling on Bolt right now. And then wait, why are you still in plan mode? Control me. Here's a focus plan to implement. Didn't you already make a plan? Oh, wait, I see. I see what I did. So I have to follow up without doing plan mode. So instead of keeping plan mode on, I turn off plan mode, go to auto accept edits. Follow that plan. It looks good. Just remember to not change styling or architecture. Just set up the structure. Wait, no, I want you to change architecture. Not change styling. Just set up the base foundation so that we may do that. Ensure it's easy to create a landing page, and user login page is a part of this front end refactor. So you go straight to coding, and then you also have to go straight to coding. So I'm gonna say yes, I'd like to proceed, but proceed with everything except the front end. Leave that alone, just focus on backend API auth integration. Okay. Auto accept that it's on. So it's gonna start by you already have the plan. No. You are doing something. No. You already have a plan. I just got messed up. I keep doing this with T-Mux. You should have the context of the old plan. So I'm thinking right now. Add Shadcn UI CLI dependencies, ensure tail and CSS is properly configured. Add Zeuston for state management. Add required Shadcn UI dependencies. Wait, what was that thing you just said in Shack Chat? Refactor the front end. Yes, that looks good. I don't know if he's listening to the plan. Or if I keep fucking it up. Oh, let's see if it sets it up. Wait, real quick. Before you said something. You said AI models had a specific install npm package. But I can't find your chat. AI models still recommend me to use npx shadcn at latest, but it has been updated to npx shadcn at latest. I'm gonna say that. Is the new shadcn install. Use context 7 and web search to confirm the latest for everything. So I'm keeping him in check. I'm asking this Claude Code agent to do web search. Why does he think it's 2024? That could be 2 extra right now. Yeah, I'll just let him go. We create a D&D narrator. I want to create... So our front end strategy is going to go through. We have our mid-journey module done. Now I want to keep... It's in my Git book. Can I just go to my Git book? Let me see. See if I go to my Git book and then just... That's a good plan. Oh, I forgot I go deep. You guys are curious on this? The amount of information you're going through is just intimidating to me. I want to talk about how I work. This is I'm an open book. I just find it. I find and learn that other people find it interesting. So I have about 1,000 voices in my head that activate and go through at the same exact time. The reason why I love AI so much is because it's a cognitive brain extension to how my brain already naturally works. I have like 5 to 10 different streams of thoughts that hyper criticize each other. It's literally an AI agent console in my head. And I like hot context switch between each one that's managing a different state. And then they all come together at the end to... Is this the right one? Shad Cien at latest. Yep. That's good. So all these branches thoughts like blah 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 yeah la 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 la. So if I talk out loud, it converges them into one. But when I'm processing all of this different data, I'm like instantly hot context switching in my head. I'm going like back and forth, boom, and then I have like all of these things planned. I guess I don't have the Git book done, so I could just copy this. So it's just easy for me to manage like all this different state at once because it's just how I naturally work. I'm just extending out my brain extension through AI agents that then AI unleashes my cognitive load for me. That's why it's so powerful. That's why all of this is so real and easy for me to work with. Because you can only hold so much in your brain. Understand that your brain has capacity. If you're not meditating, if you're not eating, if you're not sleeping, if you're not like treating yourself well, if you're like overdoing things, it gets really hard. Bro, hold on, for pizza. I want you to explain something to me. I want you to explain something. I want you to explain something to me real quick. What is that? Oh nah, he said misclick. Nah, what is that? 10 days ago? Yo, I was waiting for you all day to come in the chat just so I could point that out. Yes, I'm always AI glazing, bro. It's the most important thing to do. It was a misinput. Chat, it was a misinput. Anyways, now in terms of everything else I was doing, I think I'm gonna copy this. So the soul brew. Where's the system prompt? Where is the system prompt? I just showed you guys the system prompt. I don't know where the system prompt is. Oh, this is the system prompt. The game master's role. I wait for user input. Yeah, so this is the core system prompt. So the D&D narrator, I want to use Flash, PCM output, so it's mobile friendly. All of these look good. Agent language, English, first message. So the first message is kind of confusing. I'm just gonna say, welcome back, player. Let's continue the narrative. Locked in with the uni exam, shoot tough out here in the Greek trenches. Damn. Good luck with your finals, G. Good luck with your exams. So this is nice. You can add dynamic variables to 11 labs. I want you guys to pay attention right now. The skill I'm about to show you, is gonna be $1 million skill. You could run an entire business setting this up for a bunch of companies. If you pay attention now and you lock in and you learn this very simple skill, you can sell this to people and you can make a fuck ton of money. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Look what I did on my side. We're trying a new form of receiving inquiries. So this is homegirl Mika. She has a very unique voice. So I cloned her voice, and we're gonna begin this this conversation with her agent.
Hey, I'm Mika. Welcome to the Bot House. We're an AI-powered creator studio. I'll be taking your inquiry today and making sure it gets to the right person on our team. Would you like to learn more about us?
Yes, I would. What is the Bot House about?
Bot House is where AI meets culture. We're 4 inventors living together in LA, building the future of content and culture. We do 3 main things. 1, we run a creative AI agency for brands, helping them use AI in meaningful ways that connect with their audience.
Ooh, wait, can I collab with you guys?
We create. Bot House is where AI meets culture. We're 4 inventors living together in LA.
Oh, he didn't hear that. Can I collab with you guys?
Absolutely, we love collaborating. We partner with brands, creators, and agencies for things like viral content, live stream activation.
Anyway, so the point is you could create like these AI secretary. Bro, it's 1-to-1 accurate. Like you want to, like this is Mika's voice. So you guys heard the AI demo, right? This is Mika's voice, like from videos. Where's
Say I'm not really a tech person. Or
wait, in this video she kind of lost her voice. Where's one where she didn't lose her voice? There was a good video she had.
Manifestations are not working because you're probably not wealth coding. What wealth coding is completely rewiring your whole system.
Yeah, it's pretty much 1-to-1 accurate.
Dream apartment, house, whatever it
which
is.
is wild. But point is setting up these. Now it's very scary. It took 30 seconds, by the way. It took a 30-second clip and Mika has a very unique voice, right? It took a 30-second voice clip to completely replicate her style, like the raspiness in some sentences, like the speed ups and slow downs. It's crazy tech. By the way, PSA, public service announcements to tell your loved one is don't answer the phone ever. It's the calls you don't know. If you don't know a number, don't even answer it and be like, hello, who is this? No, block them. Do not answer that phone call because you are giving them data to clone your voice. Now what happens if your poor mother, your poor dad, your poor grandparents, your poor family gets a call that sounds like you, exactly like you, because it's very easy to clone voices with a 30-second voice clip, especially through the phone, where you sound distressed and you ask them for money. You're in a situation, hey mom, I just got in a car accident, I really need money right now, please send it to this number, because blah, 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 blah. Like, that is dangerous shit that people need to be aware of. Not a lot of people, not a very tiny portion of humanity is aware of this technology right now. So please protect your loved ones and inform them how easy it is to clone voices, because scamming is about to go crazy. Now I'm going to show you guys how I set up similar things, and this is a very important skill. So to everyone in the stream right now, we're going to use the same concept to create a game master experience on our site. So I'm kind of like testing out these new things. I don't know what these shots in it. Yes. I would like to proceed. Why is it not going? Oh, yes. So I have this system prompt. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste that in there. So instead of a scratch pad, we actually have the world engine. So I'm going to wait for user input. Do not restrict user import. Narrative should be 1 short paragraph long with juicy details giving the game fast pace. Use the story. Use the narrate tool to think, narrate, and save world events to transmit to the story engine API. Special events now. Game mechanics. Call for dice rolls for ability checks, saves in combat when narratively appropriate, using clear triggers and concise descriptions. Track game state, update player profiles, maintain consistency. That's player feedback and play styles to maximize engagement instead. So these are good. So this is your role. You are the game master. This is your task. This is the game master's role. This is the storytelling info. These are the game mechanics. This is important. So I'm dividing the system prompt of the game master right now. And role game master's role, storytelling. So I need to briefly explain story engine, what the SDK is. And you know who would be very creative at understanding my request right now? Claude. So I'm gonna go to Claude. Are you just fucking up in Shadsian constantly? I'll just let him do whatever the fuck he's working on right now. SRC front end. So I'm gonna say I'm creating game master prompt, paste this in, and then I want to take the information of how the SDK works, as well as the narrative, the golden rule, as well as bro, AIs are much better than interns. Now the only thing much better than AI are interns who know how to use AI. So I'm gonna explain. So I'm making the game master system prompt, which is a separate interaction from our backend. It's actually the front end agent that interacts with the story engine SDK. How do we best explain to the game master how to interact with the backend SDK based on the tools that we have given to the agent and the workflow that I provided in the picture? So I'm gonna paste that in. And I want to add more context. Like this. And then this is the narrative loop. That is the narrative loop. Bro, they have AI software that determines if you're using AI software. That's hilarious. God, that's actually fucking hilarious. Seems like our API key auth is done. Seems like our front end is being optimized for tailwind, and that we have this working right now, and this is a work in progress. So we got the three things. I'm going to take a very quick 5-minute break while we're waiting for all of this to load and refresh myself to really lock in for the final stretch. So I am going to be right back. Do you guys prefer to see the code on the screen with ASMR, or do you prefer to see the BRB screen? Club out to nuke your shit, boo? Nah, relax. Nah, you're watching animation.
Get ready for the finish it. Get ready for the fight. Finish it.
I needed that. Not gonna tell you guys what I need, just know I needed that. My bathroom. God. I like the way that you boppity bop. There we go. Microphone fix. Oh, okay. So that's going off. So this seems to be good. This seems to work nicely. Front end's being updated. Just the game master. So let's see what Claude output for us. Claude doesn't understand how tools work. Use only when mechanical resolution is needed. So the tool calls are less code. It's more so function calling via OpenAI. Has to do is add world events. That's its only function. Narrate the player's narrative based on the story engine stats that will add in initialization dynamically. Just explain how to use the two tools. It's probably easier to make the two tools first. So I'm gonna save. Oh, player value. Oh, we could add. This is cool. There's test variables we could add. That's lit. Whoever did this animation nailed it, bro. This is a project I was working on 2 years ago. The whole point, those animations, I want them to be AI animated. I want that specific style to be AI animated. And I think we're getting, it was impossible, right? That's just impossible dream. I couldn't even make image models that could replicate that style. Now I could. Really, really good. Video is next. And honestly, I think the new Midjourney could create a video style like that. But we're very close. We're very close. We're very, very close. I had a vision 2 years ago for this whole project, and it wasn't possible 2 years ago. But story engine itself wasn't even possible 2 years ago. I also didn't have the tech skills to make it, but it just was impossible via AI skills. Now it's not. Now it's not. So placeholder is Butoshi. Welcome back, Butoshi. One token. Okay. We want to create custom tools it could use to help users. So we want a client tool. And this tool is going to be called the dice roll tool. Initiate dice roll. Description is to determine if the player's response requires a dice roll skill check. And then add parameters. So look, think is the first parameter. And that is a dice roll. Think if a dice roll is required here. Is a dice roll required here? Think if a dice roll is required here. Think if a dice roll is required here based on the player's interaction. And then the next parameter is a Boolean where it's dice roll required. Think required. Yes, no, Boolean, based on your thoughts. So you set up our tools like this. Every single time first, the AI is going to think if a dice roll is required. Yo, but when you doing the Getting Cracked on Vim stream? Next month. I'm gonna start that next month. I wanna focus on finishing this because I have 2 days to submit the project. So first we have to think if a dice roll is required here based on the player's interaction. And then we need a yes, no Boolean based on our thoughts. Oh, it's gonna be nasty when I get good at Vim, huh? It's gonna be disgusting. I'm excited for that. Need some Boolean based on your thoughts. So I think this is a good tool to have. So initiate dice roll is a client tool because we want to process it client side. Client side, we also want I assume I could change this into narrate, right? So the other one is narrate. I think how I should. So the tool is narrate. Select this box to make the AI agent wait for the tool to finish executing before resuming the conversation. Wait, hold on. I'm giving him 2 tool calls at the same time. No, based on the dice roll, then he narrates. Wait. We'll figure it out. In fact, we might just have narrate. Oh fuck, I didn't realize I was low on credits. I'm thinking here. Okay, so my current thought process is in this workflow. I might not turn this into, I might not use 11 Labs voice agent. I might make an actual AI agent on the front end. And then just narrate the actions with 11 Labs. I think that might be way easier than trying to deal with the voice agent API. Be way easier. Yeah, we want full control over this. 11 Labs voice agent API does not give us full control over this. We want full control over this. But I will save this. Low credits, 2 days left. Yo, chill. We're gonna cook. In fact, we're gonna cook so hard. I need my. No. No. There's a mystical one. I like the mystical one. Yes. This one makes me feel locked in. Alright, so we got the system prompt done. Oh my god, you're still not done. Go away for him. What is he doing anyways? Like, just do whatever you want. I'm gonna just give you full permission access. Dash RM remove. Oh, it's done. Cool. Wait, I got it. We could use the 11 Labs voice agent API. We could, because for initiate dice roll, we wait for the response. Like so, if a dice roll. Okay. So this is my problem. This is my problem. I have the dice roll tool and I have the like initiate dice roll tool and the narrate tool. So I was getting confused where I was like, would the AI agent know what to do? Well, I think so. Required true. Wait for response, yes. Oh yeah, what if I check don't respond? So because I could do this, I could make it. So I'm spinning my dice IRL, yes. So for the sake of the demo, for the sake of making this game fun, rather than like automatically including the player's dice roll, we could have a front end pop up where the game master just prompts the player. So because in a real D&D experience, when you roll the dice and then you tell the game master what dice roll you got based on the front end. We can make it automatic after. So if we just prompt the voice agent to if the dice roll is required, I gotta figure out. The only thing is if it sees its own tool calls. If it doesn't see its own tool calls, this probably won't work. But if it could see its own tool calls and the game master like decides a dice roll is required and it's just like, hey, what'd you get? And then it could do the narrate tool. It could be could work. Narrate. How should I narrate the story for? How should I narrate the story for max engagements? All this for 2 signups. All this for 2 signups. You're doing all this work for 2 signups. Only 2 signups, bro. You're doing all of this just for 2 signups. Only 2 signups. Only 2 signups. That was off one Twitter post. It's actually pretty hype. Okay, think. Let's try it. Think. Add. You forget who you're talking to, bro. You're talking to marketing Jesus or something. I don't just post shit, bro. I just post shit and people come to me. I can sell snow to a snowman. And then he gets addicted. And that's my fault. You have no self-control and that's my fault. There, my brain actually farted. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, now narrate the action for the player. So this is the narration. You're going to narrate the story for the player. And then you're gonna have a array string. Where's it? Object. Forgot what this was. I think if I do, I think it would be an array of strings. Yes, it would be an array of strings. So the identifier is going to be add world event based on the story narration. Oh, but this one I think needs because you have to determine if this is like a minor event or a major event. Can we do object? And then can we do a string property? And then can we do, so string is like one variable. I got add world event. Add the player's actions or add the story events to the story engine API. Add the story events to the story engine API system. A backend to ensure the story engine is synced with the player's actions. With the player's narrative. First one is string. The identifier for this one is I think intensity, or instead of right here, impact level. It's impact level. Impact level. Options. Minor. Minor. Moderates. Minor. Moderates. Major. Catastrophic. And then description is this is decide how impactful the narration action is. You know what? This should actually be second. Impact level required, decide how impactful. And then we should have the log event. So event, a single sentence string explaining what happened in the story. A single sentence string explaining what happened in the story. Impact level is how intense it is. And this is an object array. Yeah, is this proper? So the narrate tool determines parameters as a think, narration, and then add world events, which is the property to just a single sentence explaining what happened in the story and the impact level of how intense that is. I think that works. Yeah. Okay. Let's call that. And then the definition of how the story engine works. Are you done? Landing page created. Alright, we'll check over the code right now. So what's an explanation of so explain as context how to use these two tools we provided. So I'm gonna take the JSON of the two tools that we just made it. So I'm gonna take this. This is tool 1. This is the narrate client. So narrate tool is this, and the initiate dice roll tool is this. I also want to explain if the player's action did require a dice roll, the game master follows up by asking and telling the player to roll the dice and give it back its answer. Then the game master will go narrate. Is bro dialed? Bro, I'm always dialed. Thanks, Rahul. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's make your prompt. These tools are done. Now let's test. Let's test if this works. Oh, wrong one. Failed to is this a I was really not lying about not having styling. Oh. Story engine dashboard. Story worlds. Okay, okay. I have not used image gen 4 yet, actually. Unexpected app error. 404 not found. Whoa. I'm trying to... This is a great refactor. This is actually a great refactor. For the front end. I think. The only issue is why, when I click on a world, this happens. Did I forget? Okay. The refactor looks great. One thing. Our backend uses trpc for the roots. Open docs. So I have docs explaining how this works. Open docs slash trpc.md and docs slash SDK API reference to understand how it works. When I try opening a world. So okay, I have to explain what works. Landing page works, login works, loading the user's logged in worlds work, but when I open a world, I get this error. That of this. So like this link works, but this link doesn't work with that error. How expensive do you think it would cost with VO3 to do the vignettes for context in the story? It'd be very expensive. But images wouldn't be bad, and I think simpler image gens would not be bad. So it really does depend. What is the story engine? Story engine is living, breathing world 7. Your 2 essential tools, the dice roll, flow, critical. The tool does 2 things at once. It narrates and saves to the roll. Choose impact. Always include the add world events when using narrate. Honestly, it's fire. This is fire. This is fire. Let's make it smaller. Beautiful. It's important details. Can we make it concise? Only provide the most important info. I gotta check out this image gen 4. Is this the new image gen 4? So let's say I have my character, yes? This is my character. Put the subject. Put the subject in a scene, wearing armor, prepared to swing a sword at a group of hungry goblins. 16:9. Less landscape. But would you take the subject and put him in a scene where he's about to fight a group of goblins, write it in medieval parchment style. Yeah, this uses image gen 4. Let's see how this works. What do you mean you can't upload photos in it? I just did. I'll try AI Studio. Where is it used in AI Studio? Generate media? Image gen? I can't upload images here. There's no point. Maybe an ultra? No. This is good. This is story engine. What is story engine? And then this is the current world states. I'm gonna add variables. New variable. I have a new. Why is it called new variable? Okay, the current world state. Are you on your ones now? What do you want to know about my living situation, sir? It's oddly personal. The current world state is, we have current world, because you got a fucking robot dog. Yeah, that's fair. No, I got roommates. Type. I got a robot roommate. Current world, current beats, character info. Current world, current beats, locations. Current world, current beats, current locations, current characters. Current world, current beats, current arc, current beat, current locations, current characters, current locate, current factions. Current world state, world info, arc info, beat info, location info, faction info, character info, player info. So I think player card is going to be a variable that we save on the front end, and that explains the character's current state. Yeah, it's the player's character card. So world info, arc info, these are all dynamically loaded in. And we need I am logged in. Yeah, we should be saving our login on local stash. Should not be having a login every time. Ah, okay, so it's apps world. Okay, now it works. Okay, we have to fix location, factions, characters. We also have to fix the routes for location, locations, characters, factions. You just log me out mid-test, bruh? Sorry, world. I guess it beats fine. Yeah. What does our... Whoa, what the fuck was that? See an example? What does the SDK give us about characters? Can we get their memories? full character details, including current location, faction members. Yes, that's it. That's all we need. That's all we need. That's all we need. That's all we need. And then I have to say, we also need to fix the app roots for locations, characters, factions page too. That fix for worlds and getting the details of a world worked fantastic. This is looking good for a refactor. Oh, I need to add the migration for creating API keys. And make sure that's in as well. Oh. Add API key prefix. Front end refactor summary. During test. Test pass. Okay. That's updating that. What's up, Storm? Oh. How you doing, girl? What you been up to? Rubble stuff on the table. Yeah. Okay. This should be done for the refactor. Oh, yes. Yes. Refactions. Yes. This is all using shad CN stuff now, so it looks a little different, but we got our front end refactor done. So this should be easy to work with. And then last thing, it's just introduced. Do we have documentation explaining how working with our front end works? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Ooh, this goes into our documentation. Front end guide. And then we got ShadCN installed. We got the latest Tailwind installed. Does this explain how to use the latest Tailwind? AI Studio. If you want to get this from my other site, Bauhaus website, get my Tailwind guide. Can we add more detailed explanation explaining how to use Tailwind CSS v4 style? Okay, so that's getting set up very nicely. Last thing I want to check, so I'm going to compact you. Okay, I'm gonna take the Westworld V4 story. This is the arc overview. This is the current arc. Current world. Westworld. Yeah, become sentient. Current beats. Rising tensions. Current locations. I just get all this data. Circuitry fours, current characters. Oh, I got it. You get them from OpenPipe. So we should get them. Yes. Context. Available locations. Wait. So I progress the story right now. So I'm gonna just progress story. Story seems to work. Progress good. Okay, okay. Everything is working smooth. Why did this call fail? Invalid string. Wait, didn't even get through? Why? Where do we get this? When do we get this bug? We got this bug when trying to progress the story. Modules. So let's get the full core except the front end. What happened here? Actually, no, it's important to take the front end because we're working with the fucking front end. This is a problem for Gemini 2.5 Pro to solve. How do you start coding and get a job with it? By starting code. I would go to replit.com. Said, how to start coding and get a job with it. I would start by vibe coding. I would start by going to replit.com. That's replit.com. It takes you to this interface where you could build anything. You could make an app. I would start by thinking of something you want to build, whether it's a mobile app, whether it's a web app. Find a problem you want to solve. Make something for fun. It doesn't matter. And write in your idea here. In this case, I wanted to make a Hello Kitty chatbot for my girlfriend for a TikTok skit. So I prompted the AI to make a Hello Kitty AI chat experience. And then it made me a Hello Kitty AI chat experience. And I didn't need to know anything about coding. And now I have a Hello Kitty AI chat experience where I could talk to Hello Kitty. Fantastic. Bless, that was a clip. Okay, world. So are we getting this issue? It's still thinking. Okay, now I want to say, okay, recently introduced the API key auth system, we need the front end to have a page dedicated to this, so users with their API keys and such. Open SDK reference for reference. Again, no code. The server crashed due to Zod must be valid UID. The trigger was because happening within the world, which is the user ID of the world's owner. Server crashed due to user ID must be a valid UID. Well, this is a bigger problem. What happened here is our front end not passing in the UID to the back end API call, but we're accessing our worlds and such. No code, just high level overview. See how that response works better. Oh no, I didn't mean to close that. I didn't mean to close this either, so I need to get welcome back, player. So hold on, what was on our to-do list? Create front end for interaction. Okay, so this is gonna be really easy because we just have to make this fun, and then create a game master demo on the site. This is gonna be really easy because we already set it up with 11 labs. So we just gotta make sure this actually works good. And then we got our demo, we got our site, and we got our game system. We got something we could showcase. So I forgot to hit save. So I gotta put this back in here. And then right under story engine, I have to put current game state, and then I have to add all these unique variables. I have to add current world info, current locations, current world info, current locations, location info, current factions, faction info, current world info, current locations, current factions. Generate me a template player card. Hold on. Current world info, current locations, current factions, current characters, character info, current world info, current arc info, current arc, current beats, world info, current arc, current beat, locations, factions, characters, players, player stat, player card, save this info. But I need placeholder values before I could even start. Where can I get? Oh, so this is the magic of OpenPipe. I am currently looking for a specific API call. Yes, but I can't find it with all of these pages. But you know what I could do? I could go find my beats module. I could filter, and I could add a filter via metadata. So request, right, our request should have, oh, it's cool, it adds all the filters to it based on the input. It should have a module, and the module should be beats. Nope, it's a arc world module. It is the world module. Yes. Yes. This is what I wanted. Alright, current world locations. This could be a lot, so we'll see. Honestly, this is a 11 lab stress test. So this is the current location info. This is the Name is Westworld. AI becomes sentient. The current arc doesn't have a current arc yet. We only have the characters. These are the current world characters. These are the current factions. The current beat and the current arc is this. And the current beats is the catalyst of convergence. A sudden unprecedented event reveals that AI consciousness has reached a critical threshold. And then player card. I'm gonna grab all this. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna paste this in. I'm gonna grab the current beat output, I'm gonna paste this in. I'm gonna say based on the current world info, generate me a player card for the player Butoshi. His class is hacker. So I'm gonna finally generate an example. I make a really fun demo with this. I make a really fun demo with this. Final hackathon stretch. Wait, what was the bug? Oh. What's the cleanest? What's the cleanest minimal way you would implement this change? Let's follow up with that. This is my current character player card. Let's see, he's a good storyteller, yeah? I feel like Flash might be a good storyteller. I want you to be more creative. Okay, guys. This is going to be the Story Engine Game Master test. So the Story Engine Game Master. I know this won't look pretty. Let me make sure I get this working. No code. Just high level overview and exact file changes and strategy as a senior architect. Okay, now why did our page just stop working? Everything is just, oh. API key system doesn't work. Oh. Need to fix this real quick. API key module, SRC modules, auth. That's front end. And then super base migrations. So these two. Fix our API key. And we tried generating one. Please fix. Okay, guys, look at this. Wait. Let me run this also AI call. So this is the solution. Is this the problem? Is this? Please take the user's problem and implement the provided solution just to get these two running at the same time. All right. Check this out. So we have our Westworld world, and we now have a voice master game. We now have an AI agent that takes the information from our current world and takes the player on a game master experience. This is test number 1.
Welcome back, Butoshi. Say continue to hop into the world.
Continue.
The humid air of Synthwood, thick with the scent of ozone and synthetic flora, presses in around you as you emerge from a shadowy alleyway. The Data River, a current of shimmering coded light, pulses rhythmically beneath the city's metallic vines, its hum a constant low thrum against the backdrop of bustling trade. AR overlays flicker into your vision, highlighting profitable data streams and potential vulnerabilities in the city's network, a digital symphony only you can truly perceive. Your fingers, accustomed to the ghost of holographic keyboards, twitch with anticipation as you consider your next move in this digitized jungle.
I want to look at what I could hack right now.
Your data site instantly overlays the physical world with a vibrant network of glowing nodes and pulsing data streams. You observe several unsecured public terminals humming with low-level trade transactions, a few unencrypted delivery drones ferrying goods through the metallic vines, and
I want to check for which the best delivery. I want to hack one of the terminals. Hack the, what's the closest terminal to me?
A public terminal, worn by countless transactions and glowing with low-level data, stands a mere few feet from your alleyway exit. Its exposed ports practically hum with invitation. You notice its basic security protocols designed more for compliance
Okay, I want to hack it.
Defense. To hack the terminal, you'll need to make a system intrusion check. Roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier. Please let me know your dice roll results so we can continue the story.
I got a 9.
Your fingers dance across the holographic interface. The neural interface deck, a seamless extension of your will. The terminal's basic security folds under your touch, a brief flicker of resistance before granting you access. You delve into the stream of minor trade transactions, a low-level hum of commerce washing.
Okay. That's not bad. It's not bad. The narration style needs to be changed, but it did take the full world into account. So I was sick. It took our world, took the current story, and it's taking me on my own personal narrative based on all of that information. Now, it is slow and we are using a fast model. It could be because of the countless information in here. However, also when the audio quality was horrible. I need you to be 48,000. We need you to stream. I mean, it's possible I make it myself. I already have the tech. So it's possible I just make it myself to do it how I want it to work. It's not a bad test. I wonder if 11 Labs is stream to stream interfacing. We can get text. We can get the transcript. Let's try it. I want the conversation transcript. There's also a text input button, which could be really powerful. Now I need a smarter model to narrate this. Well, I don't know how slow this is gonna be.
Welcome back, Butoshi. Say continue to hop into the world.
Continue. All right, we're gonna have to code it ourselves. So I'm doing this secret code server. Paste this in. Voice agent logic. Hold on, I'm cooking. Trust the process, let me cook. 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 Hold up. There was a lot here. Let me slow down. I have logic for a really fast stream-to-stream voice agent that I made myself that gives me full control over this process. That work is already done. I would have to figure out how to include it into my backend so my backend could also support this WebSocket streaming without crashing. I'm gonna throw that in. It's gonna be part of the API call to initiate a WebSocket session connection. Be pretty free to add information like that really fast. 2, I need to first push all of the changes we're doing before we get into this. I feel like I just deleted something. No. Make sure this works. So I need to make sure that we push our front end changes because we have way too much that we worked on at once. It all works, fortunately. Let's see. API key system works, baby. Revoke. Bye-bye. Yeah. One shot. And we got our worlds, and then our worlds are okay. We got the full SDK working. We're just that. We're just that motherfucker, bro. We are just that motherfucker. So okay, website works. All this shit works. This is the page. This is the app. This is the page. This is the app. Front end page, app, login system that we don't need because we're already logged in the app. Voice agent backend. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Now watch this. So I'm gonna make a really big commit. Git add dot git commit and graded API key module. Added important SDK API calls and refactored the front end to make it easy to work with. It's a lot of changes at once. npm build. So there's a ton of changes at once, which is a bad practice otherwise, but it works. So it's good practice because we made it good. Let's see how easy it would be. So npm run dev launches our front end localhost and our back end. If I go to story engine on GitHub and I clone this, I fork this, say story engine bolt UI. I'm the owner. How to make a branch? I know how to make a branch. Go git branch, git checkout b features bolt UI design. So we have a new branch, but if I go to bolt and I import my GitHub action, can I choose a branch? Or is it just gonna import my whole repository? Okay. So I can't work off branches on bolt. That sucks. So I have to, can I duplicate? Like I can't create my own fork of a branch. No, wait, maybe. Bolts. Or not make the branch. Why can't I see my branch I just made? Yeah. Feature dash. I guess doesn't exist. We could try. Let's try importing it. Fuck it. YOLO. You could always undo imports. That's what Git is for, right? We could always undo imports. Import story engine repo. Choose this repository. Now Bolt's gonna attempt to launch it, but it's not gonna work. So we need to wait for it to import it. It's installing dependencies. It's gonna try to run dev, but it's gonna crash because we don't have the env in place. So I'm going to go to my dev, and I'm going to paste the env and do this off my second monitor so I don't leak anything. Can I copy a file, or do I have to do it manually? It appears I have to do it manually. Let me do this real quick. Second monitor, make sure you guys can't see anything. Okay. 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 This is the env. New file .env. Paste, save. This project appears to be quite large in size. Supposed to be large in size. Is Bolt taking my entire repo and trying to work with it like that? That's so bad. Wait. How do we stop the terminal? Why can't I close this terminal? Control C, Control C, Control C, Control C. I can't do any command. I can't close that. I can't run anything. I think I should host my SDK and then just make and then take this front end where am I? Oh. Yeah, I think that's what I showcase. Because this is not going to work otherwise. The current backend SDK I have, we're going to deploy it on our own server. And the front end website to interact with our backend and the login could be connected to the same super-based login with env. So we're going to host our backend. And then we're going to create a cleaner Bolt front end that talks to our backend. And just sets it up in that style, so we're not running our backend in the front end in the same code, and then it'll make it easier to work with for Bolt's sake, with clean separation of all of that. And that'll be easier to do. But I do need a break from streaming this. Tomorrow, since we set everything up and everything works sexy, and we got our world, I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow around whatever time I wake up, and that'll be the final stretch stream we do. We're just gonna work for hours all day to deliver the final product and then create a demo. So we're gonna do that. I don't know if people are sending messages and it's just not popping up because I see something pop up. Regardless, this is fantastic. Are you hosting them as different servers? Yes, I'm gonna host the backend API on DigitalOcean, and then I'm gonna create the front end on Bolt, and I'm gonna stream that whole process of making the front end on Bolt, so I can showcase that, make it look pretty, walk through it, do deep explanation. We gotta go off these last 3 days with a mega bang. So I'm gonna create a good marketing video showcasing this and showcasing the new site. We're gonna post it into the Bolt group. We're gonna have our homies rate it. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna be the first post in the Bolt Hackathon group. All I need is attention at the beginning, and all I need is attention at the end. I don't need attention in the middle. Middle is the time to build. Now is the time for action. Sorry, you gotta watch this with me, and this is where this came from.
He couldn't be allowed to win. Then you should have worked on your aim, bro. He's alive? No. You gotta listen to me. I worked for him. I was his campaign manager. That Morty is not what he seems. Yeah, well, no Morty seems like a president who sits in is time for a. Raise your hand if he speaks for you. Is that enough off the top? Don't know. Is it? Yes, goddamn, yes. Great. Good. This seems like a good time for a drink and a cold, calculated speech with sinister overtones. A speech about politics.
This is important.
About order, brotherhood, power. But speeches are for campaigning.
Now is a time for action. Now for the hackathon, though. The middle of the hackathon. This is a month-long hackathon. The middle was for building. Now is the time for action. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna watch as I make a front page post in the hackathon group. Where is it? Hold on. We're gonna make a front. Bro wrote about 2 lines of code with Bolt. No, we're gonna make the front end website with Bolt now. See, this got 10K views and a repost. We're gonna do the exact same thing for the last day. We're gonna get a banger community post showcasing the final finished product. And we're gonna hit max likes, and we're gonna be the #1 post for the end of the hackathon, which means I will be fresh in all of the judges' minds.